Okay, who is exactly behind promoting these accusations and protests against Judge Kavanaugh? We have an Ingraham Angle investigation for you tonight. The Women's March has been at the forefront of the anti-Trump movement, as we all know, day after the inauguration, had the big protest, and are taking the lead now, stating just today, quote, "We are organizing an impactful, non-arrest, direct action to make sure that the Senate knows that we believe Christine and demand that they hashtag cancel Kavanaugh and vote no on his confirmation." The Women's March group counts Planned Parenthood and Natural Resources Defense Council as their premier partners. Both groups have actively opposed Kavanaugh since he was announced. Now, those groups take on significance because of their association with George Soros. According to an extensive study by the Media Research Center, 100 of the 544 Women's March partners have received a total of $246, am I reading this right? $1,637,217 from Soros at last count. That's chump change. Here to react, Triana Arnold, James, is an anti-Kavanaugh protester from Georgia who learned of the D.C. protests from a Women's March email, along with contributing editor of the American Spectator, Jeffrey Lord, and Dave Bossie, former Trump campaign co-chair and president of Citizens United. Great to have you all on tonight. Well, this is a big week for Washington and the court. And Triana, I'm so glad you came on tonight. So walk us through how you found out about what was happening here.
Well, I've always been an advocate. And so through advocating and volunteering with the Women's March and other organizations, not just the Women's March, you know, you get the emails, you get the updates, you find out what's going on. And so when I found out that they were going to be here in Washington, D.C., I came from Georgia.
So you just came on your own dime, and you're staying in a hotel?
I'm staying at a hotel. I got
You're paying your own freight here?
Yes, I'm not a paid protester.
Okay. And when you come here, do you get like instructions like where to go? Because I know a lot of people are at St. Stephen's Church, not too far from here. But are there meetup places? How does that work? Yes,
there's meetings and trainings to let you know what to do, what not to do, and things like that. And so it's very organized, and it's very good to be with everyone.
And what do you do for a living when you're not doing this?
I'm retired. I'm a veteran.
Fantastic.
And
what about Kavanaugh do you not like? What do you know about him? What do you not like?
Well, I don't have anything personally against him. I just think that this is a bad look for America. I think that he has not been forthcoming. And I don't believe that we need another Clarence Thomas situation on the highest
I clerk
officer.
for Clarence Thomas. Let me just say, if you knew him, you would love
him.
And I'm pretty sure
he's a great guy. I'm pretty sure he's a great guy.
I'm going to convince Triana. By the time the end of this segment, I'm convincing you, because Triana is too cool. She has 12 kids she's raised with her husband. Okay, 8 boys.
8 boys,
okay?
4 girls.
8 boys. What can happen to 8 boys?
$50 million. They should take care of her hotel bill.
Yeah, like what the heck are you getting taken care of, Triana?
No, I didn't know that was that.
Yeah, I think they got a little help for the hotel rooms. Dave.
Look, George Soros. Is not surprising that George Soros is behind this. George Soros paid for the fake dossier, paid Glenn Simpson and Fusion GPS. So he's connected throughout all of the left-wing activities in this country and around the world. It doesn't surprise me. What I would like to see, maybe a little consistency from these protesters. Maybe they can go out and talk about Cory Booker as a groper, or maybe they could talk about Keith Ellison, battering his girlfriend, or maybe, Senator Carper from Delaware who beat his wife. Maybe we could have a conversation that's a lot bigger than just some unfounded, quite honestly, with no evidence to back it up, no corroboration, no witnesses. Against poor Brett Kavanaugh. These same Democratic senators are saying that he is guilty until proven innocent. That is not how we're supposed to do it.
And I've got to say that some of the criminal justice stuff that's being done, actually President Trump is actually moving on this issue.
Yes.
I think they're actually making interesting coalitions with minority groups and others who normally don't look at the Republican Party in a very charitable way. But part of what's bringing them together is this idea that prosecutors are overzealous and are convicting people who really don't have a shot at either defending themselves or convicting them before they've really had an opportunity to put on the kind of evidence they need to. So it's interesting that these groups are kind of turning on
There's a
Kavanaugh,
backlash
but
coming here.
I don't think it's a sense of fairness. Hold on one second. Jeffrey Lord, you've done, and actually you have experience in this because of your work in another judicial confirmation that involved a similar type of swarm. Tell us about it.
Yes. My best friend from college is Judge D. Brooks Smith, who is now the Third Circuit Chief Judge, Third Circuit Court of Appeals. He was the Reagan Chief Judge of the Western District in 2001 when President Bush 43 picked him to go to the Third Circuit, and they did exactly what they did to Robert Bork and what they're doing here. And the thing you always have to gauge is the groups behind the scenes. For example, one senator had 21 of his 28 questions submitted to Judge Smith that I tracked down were word for word, in some cases, from an internal memo that we got a hold of from one of these interest groups. They are very, very powerful, and there were 27 of them who orchestrated against Judge Smith, and they give stories to the press, which the Washington Post published. They do all of these kind of things, and it's a real serious problem. And what we're seeing here are Democratic senators. Basically, what you can't see are the groups behind these Democratic senators that are pulling the strings, which they are doing. And George Soros, as a matter of fact, paid for one of those groups in 2002.
Well, Open Society Foundation has an enormous amount of money. A huge amount of money. They can spend it any way they want. Those are the laws. I mean, they want to give money to Planned Parenthood, want to give money to the National Resource Defense Council, they want to give money to the Women's March. He can do it.
Sure.
I mean, we're the Republicans. I mean, the Republicans have to have their own groups like this.
We are outgunned. I mean, they have a very dedicated Tom Steyer, George Soros, and their left-wing billionaires.
They want to rock this vote in the midterm.
They do,
and
elections do have consequences, and we need to make sure that our people turn out in November.
Well, Triana, last word to you.
The one thing, if this backfires...
Yeah, I think it might be signs of already backfiring. Triana, what do you hope to accomplish with your time here?
Well, I hope to accomplish that he receives a no vote. And I understand you say poor Brett, but what about Dr. Ford? What about all... Ms. Ramirez.
She's going to get her opportunity on Thursday.
Right. And so that's all we're asking for, that an accurate FBI investigation be conducted. Mr. Kavanaugh has not been forthcoming.
What do you mean he's not been forthcoming? On what?
For example, he has not been forthcoming with everything about his past. And
what is past? He's been in public service for almost 3 decades. He's been subject to 6 background checks.
That's the problem. See,
that's the problem. That's a great sign.
You're a judge. You're a judge. Wouldn't you want to see the evidence? Wouldn't you want to hear all sides?
Do you know what you were doing 36 years ago? Do you know what you're doing? I don't know what the heck I was doing 36 years ago.
I actually do. Yeah. I actually do know what I was doing 36 years ago.
What were you doing?
I was a child model. For a company, and
well, what if but someone comes along and says, "You did this. You were a child model. You did this. You did this," and you're like, "No, I didn't." There's no one's corroborating the person accusing you. Where do you go to get your good name back? But you don't go anywhere because there's no.
So why is it that why can't he ask for FBI investigation in order to get his name back?
That's not his job, and that's not the FBI's job, and we learned that from Clarence Thomas. And by the way, there's a great video by Joe Biden.
So I don't know him. So
that's right. Thank you, Joe Biden.
Any connection to him? But I just think that we need to take a polygraph, do an FBI investigation.
Polygraphs aren't admissible in court for a reason, guys. We're out of time.